My Hero Ultra Rumble just released their next DLC, and Biking didn't disappoint once again with giving us another unique character that feels completely different from the rest, with having restraining type quirks and also physical quirks, and also just having the ability to just completely make your opponents useless. And Aizawa clearly does fit the bill for all that stuff. But today's anime question is going to be, who's been your favorite DLC for this game so far? Momo, Ibara, or the new one, Aizawa? But yeah, in today's video, man, we're basically going to be giving y'all the strengths, the weaknesses, some counters, and just some good ways about using Aizawa, and giving y'all a final rating about how good of a DLC he is. So if this is something you think you might be interested in, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, turn on the bell, do all those nice things, and we're just going to go ahead and get straight into this breakdown of this character. So, like I said, this character feels very different, besides maybe with the beta and the gamma quirk, because the beta quirk is pretty similar to Deku's kick, and I'd say the gamma quirk is pretty similar to Ibara's beta quirk, where she, shoots out the vines. But all around, Aizawa is pretty good. So when we actually move into the quirks of Aizawa, the first one is going to be the Alpha Quirk, Binding Cloth Capture, and some strength of this. It's great for setups. It has variety depending on if you're starting the activation. So if you're in the air, you can come down with a kick, but if you're doing it on the ground, not jumping, you're just going to wrap them up in the cloths, and it's going to automatically pull them in regardless if you press anything. They're going to get pulled back in, and this is going to allow them to be staggered for a second, where you can set up with combos. This makes him formidable with pretty much anyone in the game because he can set up his strikes. He has a max of 5 strikes, and it can allow for faster movement when you're using this Alpha Quirk, but the kick can be a little bit annoying because it can allow you to bounce off of the buildings. As far as the weaknesses, he's a little bit difficult to hit with his Alpha Quirk because people can move around, and also these things don't have long range, so it's a little bit hard to hit sometimes, and they don't deal damage if you do them from not in the jumping stance. So if you're jumping, you'll come with the kick, but if you're just standing, it's not going to be any damage. But like I said, the main thing with this is the fact that it allows you to pull people in and set up combos, and this can also set up for your teammates depending on who you're running. If you're using somebody like Ibara and you use her Gamma Quirk while also after Aizawa's Alpha Quirk, it can make it very easy to hit some of these things, and also characters that just have like area attack. So like Shigaraki's Beta Quirk with him also decaying the ground. This is going to allow you to pull people into these things and do some good collaboration quirks. As far as we move over to the Beta Quirk, it's going to be the Beta Quirk Powerhouse Kick Barrage. And some strength of this is it combos perfect with the Alpha Quirk. When you pull them in and they stagger and then you come with the kick, it's pretty good. It's great for movement, and it has solid damage. It's not the best damage, but the damage is enough to actually, knock off a little bit of their health. Some weaknesses is this thing only has a max of 2 strikes, so you can only use it twice. And the range leaves more to be desired because I feel like this has lower range than Deku's Beta Quirk. But at least having 2 of these allow you to kind of move in the air a little bit and get around a little bit. And this goes through Mr. Compress's shield, so that's a good thing that you can break through his shield with this. But like I said, the main thing that I use this quirk for is either whenever I'm following up after pulling somebody in with the Alpha Quirk, or whenever I'm trying to get some movement going in the air and I, follow up with 2 of these kicks. This is what I use this for. When we move over to the Gamma Quirk, it's going to be the Binding Cloth Surfeit. And some strength of this is, it's great for staggered and downed opponents, so when you knock somebody down after hitting them with the kick, you can hit them with this Binding Cloth and it'll still damage them while they're on the ground. Some weaknesses for this is, it's a little bit easily missed because the range is not that good. It's not good compared to Ibara's Gamma or her Beta Quirk. It doesn't really just have that much of a good range, and it leaves you vulnerable whenever you're striking this, but it does go through Mr. Compress's shield, again like the other one. So like I said, the Gamma Quirk is probably my least favorite out of the 3 quirks that he has, but it still has its strengths, and it still allows for a little bit of crowd control, and it can also melt down some health whenever you use it at the right time. But we already know that one of the big hitters of this character is his special action, which is Eraser. And some strengths of this is, it's great for support because you're getting rid of people's quirks. It buys time against stronger enemies. You can almost nerf Froppy with this, especially if you get her in your sight before she goes invisible. And it has good range. It's pretty much the range of Aizawa's sight. If people go behind buildings and things like that, it will be broken and they'll be able to use their quirks. But the good thing is, as long as you put your eyes back on them, they're not going to be invulnerable after they break through. As long as this special action is activated, you can erase quirks as long as your eyes are on them. Some weaknesses is, you can't attack, run, jump, or dodge in this state. You're pretty much just moving in this little state with your arms crossed, and if somebody hits you, this is going to deactivate your special action. But the good thing is that this comes back pretty quickly, and this quirk reveals Fromp. Even if she goes invisible, When you activate this, it's going to allow you to see the little red marks around Froppy while she's invisible, which is going to allow you to attack her. So this is pretty cool. He's a pretty cool character. Like I said, for me in terms of likability, I think the special action goes to the top, then the alpha quirk, then the beta quirk, and then the gamma quirk. The gamma quirk I can kind of do without it, but it still, you know, allows for you to get some damage when you need to. So in terms of leveling up, of course you can do it in your own order, but me personally, I like to go with the beta quirk because this is the one that's going to give you the most damage. Then I go with the alpha quirk because, you know, it's going to increase the range a little bit and allow, you know, to pull people in and also get more shots. And then I go to the gamma quirk, which is the last one, which is, you know, I use more so for in-game whenever, you know, I'm getting somebody on the ground or trying to note off some health. But it's most effective to use this special action from a high vantage point because, like I said, about when the sight gets broken, the quirk gets broken. So whenever you're using the special action eraser, I definitely try to make sure you're in the air or in a decent spot where you can actually see well. And also, I wouldn't pair yourself up with a Cementos because, you know, him building his walls are going to get away of you using your special action quirk. But going off of all these things, I think the rating that we're going to have to give Aizawa is going to have to be an A. And like I said, it's simply an A and not an S just because, you know, he's not just completely game-breaking, but he's good enough to win on his own, and that alone gets him an A. He's best with teams having somebody to support him, and he can help people from behind the scenes, but he can also go in and take down a Bakugo or take down a Todoroki by himself. If you're playing the right character that actually knows how to run with Aizawa, he can pretty much beat anybody. I had a little bit of trouble going against an All Might just because, you know, he was spinning around, and when you don't have the special action to deactivate that, it's a little bit difficult, but he can pretty much run with anybody, and he's just an all-around solid character, and you can make the argument about him being one of the best technicals in the game. But let me know in the comments what y'all think about Aizawa. What have you been enjoying about him? And who's excited for Endeavor to be the next one that's coming, supposedly? And let me know in the comments what role do you think Endeavor is going to be in this game. But hey, I hope y'all enjoyed this video, and I'm going to see y'all on the next one. We up.